Follow me well. You can always find me at TimBlackTV.com. You can always email me at tim@TimBlackTV.com. I ain't hard to find, Johnson. I said I ain't hard to find. Shout out to my brothers and sisters, the foundational Black Americans, and also shout out to the brothers and sisters who correct out of love. You know, and sometimes even the ones that correct out of malice. Because we all can use correction at times. Nothing wrong with that. I'm the type of person, if you correct me, man, I'll be mad. Like, I'll be like, what's this? What? I'm so used to getting trolled. But then I let it, I revisit it. And I say, was there something there? Was there something there I could take from that? Because whatever uncomfortableness is already past, was I supposed to learn something? Because see, when you get old, when you move out your mama house, when you get your own shit, when you have your own kids and your own family, and you're building your legacy, and you're your own man, you can do whatever you want to do, right? You can pick and choose. Something you're going to find out that is crazy, and that is, yeah, you get to run your own show, but you know what? You out this shit, you out here by yourself, and no one's going to help you. And all those are irritating things your parents would say and people that love you would tell you. Now nobody tells you shit, but you know what? You just out here looking dumb. You just out here making mistakes, thinking you got it all figured out. Like I saw this guy on TikTok, he was bragging about, when you're a real baller. When you're a real baller, your wife ain't got to work. That's when you're really balling. When your wife don't work, that's when you really made it. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to him say this. And all I could think was, now you're a real baller when you have a happy marriage. It'd be great, if your wife doesn't want to work. But if you got like a trophy wife, or you got a wife that they really only got with you because she wanted to get out the house, because it used to be a thing, man. A lot of women back in the day used to get married to move out. This thing called alimony. I don't know if you heard of it, sir. Because she's going to want to maintain that standard of living. And I'm just saying, like, maybe we should make sure we compatible, make sure we on one accord, make sure she's trustworthy, make sure you really want to be with her and you good, and you ain't going to be out here doing nothing crazy. It's going to also put you in that situation. You know what I'm saying? He skipped over all this shit that make relationships work. And was just like, it's all about appearances, You know what I'm saying? You want to look like you're really getting it. You know what I'm saying? You want to look like you're really eating. I'm like, dog, you about to, I hope you don't learn it the hard way, sir. But appearances don't mean shit, man. Nobody know what's going on inside your house. Don't nobody, look, fam. But see, like I said, man, when you out here, you ain't got the benefit of a role model or a confidant or a mentor or a network of people that actually have your best interests at heart. Who ain't just, you tell them something, they storing it for later. Oh, for real? You don't say. Writing that down. You know what I'm saying? And use it on you later. You just out here making bad decisions after bad decisions, thinking they're good decisions because you have a limited amount of expertise and knowledge yourself. So all I'm telling you is sometimes when people are giving me, even when they're giving me correction that's negative and they're doing it heavy-handed and they're trying to be cute or sassy or greasy or whatever, still, there may be a kernel of something you need to consider. And that's a gift. Because nobody owe you nothing. You feel me? All right. So take for what, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take your indications, take your signposts. Yeah, take your signposts, your guideposts, take the information, use what you can use and throw the rest away. But take them wherever you can get them, man. Where you can get a good word, where you can get info, take it wherever you can get it, man. Sometimes it'll come, it will come disguised as mockery, but, even mockery, even roast battles. Remember, we used to get roasted we used to sit on the front steps and get roasted. We used to roast. We used to play the dozens. We didn't call it dozens. We just roast your ass. We used to call cutting you up. That's what I used to say, man. You say, oh, he was cutting you up. Yeah, you got cut up. And I guess that comes from the figurative explanation, someone actually slicing your ass. Cutting you down, cutting on you, you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you, fam, even that was rooted in something real. The family car was garbage. Your mama did have a big back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, your shoes was talking to something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was mean, but it was true. What does that got to do with anything, Tim? I don't know, man. I'm letting things, look, the Black America isn't falling for it. We are not falling for the okie doke. May the church say, man, the trick bag. No more trick bag, fam. Y'all ready for it, fam? Now, I hope I had a file was processing. We have video. Let's just jump off into the content, Johnson. All right, guys, let's get ready. Let's go, people. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Thank y'all for being here. These are the people that keep the lights on around here, by the way, and I like lights. So I want to thank the Tim Black Wolfpack for becoming paid members. Now, here goes my challenge. Here's my challenge to all my free members. If after tonight's show you feel as if this show was worthy of your time, maybe you learned something, maybe now you considered something different. Or maybe I'm saying things that you yourself have said. And now you found somebody who's speaking for you without even knowing it because we're on the same accord, whatever it is. But if you find value in this content, fam, well, go to jointimblack.com or go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, or join me here on YouTube. Become a paid member. Do something different. Do something daring. Well, I feel like Hakeem Jeffries. Do something daring. It's just his choppy. But do something different and become a member of the Tim Black Show by going there, starting at only $5 a month, and buy a brother a cup of coffee once a month, man. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Because this ad revenue, man, this is for the birds. So you trying to keep a business like this going off ad revenue is, so you're like, Tim, why did you make that video? Well, I need the ad revenue to cover the other videos I made that don't make nothing because for some reason, advertisers don't really want to advertise on me bigging up the Black community like I do. See, all these things are happening behind the scenes. People be less critical. They don't understand. And I don't expect you to know, but, you got to kind of, in this business, you kind of got to go, do one for the house that keeps the lights on, and then maybe you can do 3 others that are for your, because you gotta pay the bills. So go to jointimblack.com, and what it does, fam, is it keeps me from having to have sponsors. Because, see, sponsors have expectations. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't have sponsors, and you the sponsor, the only person has expectations of you, and that's perfect because we on the same accord. All right, family, let's go. Did that post say this is still not? Come on, John. It's still not posted. Ain't that something? I'm trying to post on Facebook. We don't live stream on Facebook. Y'all ready, family? Give it up for my Tim Black Wolfpack members. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for being members of Patreon. Let's roll. Yeah, I want to. There it is. There will be no punches pulled tonight. Put the kids to bed, Johnson. this out of here. Hold tight, Johnson. Let's get this out. There we go. All right.
Next up with Tim Black.
I want to be quite honest with you, and it's no disrespect to the former vice president. I never got a hold on what she was. I really didn't. I couldn't figure it out. I'm just being honest. You know, I think that her heart was in the right place. I think she really cared for the American people. But I think that, and what I was feeling on the ground and what I was feeling myself, is nobody was really sure as what she stood for and who she was as a person. Where I think that with the other two ladies, that was clearer. And I don't know why that was with Kamala. I really don't. Because she was exuding this joyfulness, this when we fight, we win kind of spirit, but yet something wasn't clicking. And I don't know what that was. There was something missing and I couldn't figure it out. And I usually can figure people out, you know, and I was just like, this isn't good. This isn't good. So I hope whoever is going to be our next candidate is clear.
Next up with
Hold tight, Johnson. Oh, man, they are. Man, they are upset, Johnson. Get this out of here, man. They are upset, baby. Oh, man, the Kamalites, they are pissed off as hell at Rosie Perez right now. They're running at Rosie Perez with Ginsu knives, all types of weaponry, coming over the hill like I don't know, man, something out of Z Nation. These mofos is gunning, man. They trying to kill her. Rosie, get security. They coming for Rosie and something fierce, man, because the last thing they wanted to hear is the truth. Yeah, man, I know Kamala's people's up there pissed off. That's what we doing now. We telling truth now. That's what we doing. We telling the truth. Yeah, we telling the truth. What did Rosie Perez say that was wrong? First of all, it's just her opinion. We got people arguing about people's opinion like that could be her opinion. She's like, I don't know what she stood for. Yeah. Yeah, that's Rosie's opinion. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you can't have an opinion that's different than the establishment opinion, even though the establishment opinion is pretty similar to Rosie Perez. I mean, basically, it's what America said. What is Kamala doing? What is Kamala doing? And what does she stand for? No one knew. No one knew what Kamala stood for because Kamala didn't stand for anything. She's like Hillary Clinton. She's like water. What's that claim of Bruce Lee? I think Bruce Lee's quote is, be like water. Pour it in a vessel. When it fills the vessel or something, you'll be whatever you pour it into. That's sort of like what Kamala and Hillary Clinton's were. Had the same politics. To this day, no one can really say what they stood for except, you want to see a woman win? The difference with Kamala is, they say you want to see a person of color win? A woman that's a person of color? That's it. It wasn't until the very late stages of her campaign did she start actually really talking about shit that she intended to do. By that time, I believe most of the country had made their mind up about her and had already decided they was going to pass. Yeah, that's how that works. You got to come out pretty early and define yourself. And it's not like Kamala Harris didn't have a whole lot of money to define herself. Do you realize she burned through like $2 billion? And we got people still going, I really don't know what she stood for. And instead of you faulting her campaign and her, because she had the ability to fire, hire, and fire whoever the hell she wanted to hire and fire. Instead of you blaming Kamala Harris because she didn't have crystal clear clarity about what she really stood for, you want to go at somebody like Rosie Perez. This is one of the reasons why the Democratic Party is so horrible. Not only do they give you insufficient candidates, but they make it your fault you don't want to support the insufficient candidates. Now you can say Biden should have dropped out. I know I said it. I said it in 2019. Biden needed to drop out of that race. So, there's no credit extended for me being right, of course, because I got the wrong type of politics otherwise. I could be right about an issue, but if I'm not right for the reasons they want me to be right, then they don't want to hear it. So yeah, you can make the claim that Joe Biden should have dropped out the race. He never should have geared up like he was going to run for office. But this is what I'll give you for that. Even when you blame that Kamala Harris supporter and Kamala Harris, even when you blame Joe Biden for not dropping out earlier or for announcing that he was going to run when he shouldn't have, if it wasn't for Joe staying in as long as he did, basically giving almost no option but to hand it off to you, you never would have been the nominee from the Democratic Party. Yeah, you never would have ran. And actually, I think that would have been better for you. Because it's one thing to go down in history as the vice president, the first person of color vice president, female vice president. It's another thing to also have to add that up with the footnote that you got destroyed by Donald Trump. Yeah. Who is Hitler, Satan, Mussolini, Idi Amin, and all other horrible things, all put into one. Thought he was a Democrat 10 years earlier. It's crazy. So yeah, fam, the problem we have is that we are not allowed to have our own opinions. Rosie Perez just citing her opinion, and I happen to agree with the majority of it. Rosie Perez went on to say that Kamala Harris, something about her just didn't click. Well, what didn't click is that she was a vice president. No one knew what she did. And we're not saying vice presidents ever, other than Dick Cheney, did vice presidents ever really shine. They don't. They're window dressing. I mean, sometimes I have to dial it up for a second. Let my brain load to even remember Mike Pence was vice president. Al Gore was also forgettable, right? Tim Walz, we remember him very well for all the bad things that he was a running mate as vice president. Just imagine if she would have won, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, she didn't click. It didn't click with her because there was nothing to click. It was an empty UI. The user interface was empty. You're clicking and there's nothing, it's frozen. So I don't disagree with her about those 2 points, but there is one point I do disagree with Rosie Perez, and I will come at her about this, and that is that Kamala Harris meant well. I don't think she did. Nah. I think she meant well for herself. See, a person having ambition doesn't mean they mean well for us. That means they mean well for themselves. But see, she's not trying to open up a pizza shop or a eatery, right? Or a coffee house, or even start a new age movie theater or some shit. She's trying to be a president of the United States. And she never really seemed to me like she gave that much of a damn. What was the passion? Why? Because she had a couple celebrities come out and shake their ass? That ain't enough, fam. It's not enough. Where was in fact, I'm giving you more heat right now in this commentary, this political commentary, than she gave in her whole damn election. I'm giving you more soul. I'm giving you more immediacy, more urgency, more passion in this off the top of the head oratory, whatever this is. I'm giving you more substance in this than she gave in her whole damn campaign. What was it about? What was she about? What'd she make you feel? The woman is an empty vessel. She's an airhead. That's how she came across. She was a scatterbrain. And if I had to hear one more time about her mother's, the mother or her friend that was a friend of the family who owned a business that lived downstairs and all this shit, backstory, tired platitudes, soaring rhetoric about nothing, boring long stories about her mom and about people we don't know, will never meet, that we should not give a damn about. She went on and on about these things. And she sucked all the oxygen out of the room. In fact, her word salad was epic. Epic, long on green leafy lettuce, no protein. Not even chickpeas in that mofo. No beans, no legumes, none of them. Just arugula, iceberg, kale. Not even the benefit of some carrot sprigs. Nothing. And you really, all you got is some hatred for Rosie Perez for saying it. Fam, it is what it is. We don't have to relitigate the entire 2024, but if you don't do an actual autopsy of it, you're just going to repeat it. The only saving grace for the Democratic Party going forward into 2028 is that they don't have to run against Donald Trump again, because I think he'd win again and again and again, because they have nobody. There is no one in the Democratic side, on the Democratic Party side, that has any of the same amount of push, pull, electricity from their own base. It's not existent. Kamala doesn't have it. She didn't have it. She still doesn't have it. And that's okay. Let me end you with this. It's okay not to win. Kamala Harris became Attorney General. What was she? Of California, right? She was a senator. She was a vice president. Why is that? Why can't that be enough? You know? Why can't that be enough for Willie Brown's side piece? Why can't that be enough for Montel Jordan's jump off? Montel Williams. Why come that can't be enough for Montel Williams' jump off? Why can't it be enough? I'm just saying. Why does she then qualify that she should be the president of the United States? Look, I'm not saying, I know it's not fair Trump became president, but see, he won his primary 3 times, and no one wanted him to win the first one. Every resource imaginable from the Republican Party that they could muster was pulled and put together to try to stop Trump, and they just couldn't. That tells you a lot about the difference in the parties. Republican Party wasn't strong enough to stop them from electing Trump as their nominee, no matter how much the party hated him. And it's the opposite with the Democrats. No matter how much people had a lukewarm feeling about Kamala, they still forced her down our throats. Still, they tackled us, tied us to a bedpost, and made us eat her rhetoric, listen to her nonsense. They played her music over and over again. They tortured us with her. No matter how much we didn't want her, they forced her upon us. One of these parties is not Democratic at all. And you know, that's horrible, fam, when you consider the other party is the Republican Party. Damn. That takes some doing. Rosie Perez isn't wrong. You may disagree with her, but she ain't wrong. Next, if this segment made any sense to you, hit the like button for us, fam. We're going to move on to the next one. Yeah, let's do that. Kind of strong out the gate, aren't we, Johnson? Yeah, I know you wasn't expecting that, boy. I pulled out the Montel Williams dig. Had to reach down in the bag on that. See, I pride myself on saying the shit no one else has got the guts to say. It's going to be more of that. You ready?
Tim Black.
Trump, in my opinion, is the first black president. Yeah, he's white.
Stop everything. I want to let this play for Brian. You know, I met Brian. He was at Politico. We were both at Politico back in 2017, 2018, I think it was. And I met him, we talked briefly. I didn't know he did coke. Yeah, man. Who told you to say this dumb shit? I'm sorry, guys. Let me rewind it. I'm going to let it play through, man. My bad, Johnson. I'm just saying, Brian. Damn.
Next up with Tim Black.
Trump, in my opinion, is the first black president. Yeah, he's white, whatever. Okay, cool. But he's the first black president. Barack Obama, okay, he did his thing. But Trump is black in a different way. He has been a friend to us in the black community for as long as I've been living. I'm 41 years old. Going back to the 80s, you see pictures of him with Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, Jesse Jackson. When Jesse Jackson ran for president twice, it was Trump who funded the campaign 2 times. When Jennifer Hudson lost a lot of her family members due to violence, Trump said, you know what? Come stay at Trump Tower in Chicago for free. Don't even worry about it. It wasn't even the thing about getting press. He was like, I'm gonna just do that for you. There are countless times ASAP Rocky, he had to get saved in Sweden. I mean, it's been Kodak Black, Lil Wayne, from people in business to entertainers to everybody. He's been a friend. But people, when they're brainwashed, they don't really think that way. They think he's racist without looking at his actual history.
What has he done for the general black community? Are there any stats?
Well, one of the main things is the reduction in crime. That's a big thing. The migrant crisis has been really crazy. That's a sensitive subject for some people. But really, ICE is majority Hispanic. And you got to ask yourself, why is ICE majority Hispanic? A leftist would think it's mostly white. They wouldn't think it's mostly Hispanic because they understand that they did the right thing. They came here legally. They are doing right. And the people who followed them from their country of origin, the criminals, they don't want them here. Nobody wants the criminals here. We already got a problem with criminality in the country as it is. We don't need to bring in more people who we don't know at all.
The gun backfired. Damn, I feel like Denzel Washington Training Day. Shot me in the ass. That's what I'm about to do. About to shoot you in the ass, Brian. Come on, man. Come on, Johnson. This is what we doing? Really? I guess you're just trying to go one for one, tat for tat, because Democrats used to say that Bill Clinton was the first black president. Yeah, that was bad too. Who was that? Earthquake. Yeah. Come on, Johnson. Earthquake's political IQ is 0. You know what I'm saying? It may be negative numbers, actually. Oh, God. Why you gotta talk like that about me? I was out here. I was talking about Bill Clinton. Sit your ass down. Why'd I put that in there, man? Let's be serious. Anthony, Brian, Logan, ABL, that's it, ABL, man. Listen, brother, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to stick it to the Democrats. You're trying to be cute, bruh. Nah, man. Hanging out with black people does not make you the black president. Doesn't make you black at all. It just makes you a white guy that hangs out with black people. What's next? Bubba Sparks, bitch? What? I don't mean to call you that, but I'm just saying, just kind of, you know what I'm saying, bro? What's up, brother? My brother. Bubba Sparks hung out with a bunch of black people, so did Quentin Tarantino. All his movies have mostly black class. He hangs out with Samuel Jackson so much that, I mean, what? Bradley Cooper? Him too. So now we can say Bradley Cooper because they hung out with black. Come on, man. Damn, what's Eminem? Eminem hung out with a lot of black people. D12 was all black. What are we talking about, Johnson? This is goofy shit. But I understand, man. You're trying to move up in the conservative realm. You're trying to do your thing, and don't get it twisted. You're doing much better than me. I mean, I'm just over here fighting for black people. You're just over there fighting for your life amongst a bunch of conservative bigots who say dumb shit about black people all day, and you have to try to pick your punches when you're going to counter it. But, bro, this is not the way to do it, fam. This is not to earn favor, to curry favor with the Republican base. And I'm not saying we don't point out some things that Trump has done, but you should have a litany of things to mention. Bringing down crime is not a presidential thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at that as something presidents really do. So then, since you're the one making the point that he's done so much for the black community, you got to start citing shit. Now, I know this is a clip. Maybe you have those things that you would say. I would love to have a conversation with you because, I think we discussed doing a coach show at some point. At least we could have that conversation. And you could go ahead and, argue your point that Trump is the first black president. That's crazy, man. Trump wouldn't even agree. He wouldn't even agree with you. That's what makes it funny is that Trump would not agree. I mean, he would take the praise and be like, oh, great. I guess you could say I am the best. I've done so many great things for the blacks. Very fantastic what I've done. What I've done is amazing. But I doubt very seriously that he would even consider that. It's okay to shit on Obama. Talk about Obama's policies. Talk about how Obama bailed out Wall Street, not Main Street or the back streets or Martin Luther King Avenue. Talk about that shit, because that's real. You know what I'm saying? And that is an argument that I would support all day long. We can be very critical of Obama. We can then be critical of Kamala Harris, who they were trying to make be president. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And you could also point out that these are people of color, not particularly black Americans. And now, you know what? I even go so far to say we have not had a black American, foundational black American yet. You can say that. I'm with you on that. But don't go, don't go and start making white people black. It was foul, it was disrespectful, it was insulting when it was made. When that claim was made about Clinton, that was an insult. It's also an insult when it's Trump. Okay? Yeah, it doesn't matter if you like the guy. Right? Being a black American is supposed to stand for something. Being a foundational black American is supposed to stand for something. You aren't supposed to pass it out like it's Halloween and you have to do it with the Snickers. Right? That you got the best house in the neighborhood for giving out candy. We're supposed to hold on to it. It's a currency, sir. We only share it with those who are it, who are the thing. There's qualifications. Pretend that it's like being a brain surgeon. And we only want the actual brain surgeons. Pretend that blackness is valuable as diamonds. We got to flip it. We should not be proud of or excited or feel vindicated and validated for those that associate with us. It should be the other way. They should be the ones who feel that they have arrived to be allowed to participate in our shit. To be allowed to be amongst us. That's how it should be. Okay? And that's where we got to go with the self-esteem and the. So anyway, back to the point, bro. Just no. Because even in a debate with me, sir, you can make these claims. But at the end of the day, I'm sure you would concede that you just like the effect of some of his policies. And that, my friend, does not make him black. And you know that. And I know it just rubbed me the wrong way seeing it. I had no intention of covering this. I kind of saw it at the last minute and I thought, if it was a Democrat, if a Democrat said that George Clooney, was going to be the first black president, I would have the same reaction. And so that's my test. I had to check myself and say, would I cover this shit if it was a Democrat saying some shit, making somebody white the first black president? Yeah, I probably would. Well, ding, 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 you won. Now I got to address you. And that's good for you, right? It's good when people mention our name in the algorithm. That's saying you're a bad person, but this was a dumbass take. But don't worry, I'm going to talk about Torre later. He's even more dumb. Well, his take is even more dumb. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro. Next. Hey, folks, let me know what y'all think about this segment in the comment section. ABL, man, I had no idea he was on the fentanyl. I didn't know this. Alcoholic? Raging alcoholic? What is it? Now I'm just joking. I know nothing about this brother on a personal note. I know you was only 41, man. You a kid-ish. You kiddish. Young man. Young man. Stupid. Stupid. And I mean statement, this statement, that you as a person. It's obvious that you are slow. I'm joking, man. I know, see, I'm gonna make you have to respond to me because I light your ass up. I don't think you really wanna, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you wanna. Y'all ready, man? Let's move on, Tim. Move on, Tim. I don't know, what possessed you to say that shit? It's like is this like, I think it's this. I think, let's go extra inning, right? Extra bonus time on this. Hey, ABL, I get it, man. You had a budget for marketing and you wanna put money behind some videos to give you some, more exposure. Not that you don't get a lot of views now, you do. But you're trying to amp up your exposure, your awareness level. And you said, let me put out something in this interview that will give me more exposure. Let me say some incendiary shit that will give me some legs, right? So you said this. That's what I know what I'm gonna think. That's it, because this ain't you. You don't say dumb shit like this. You're one of the more reasonable. Like, you're not Jason Whitlock. You know what I'm saying? You're not Jesse Lee Peterson. He is certifiable. He's insane. Okay? That's why I was like, what? But hey, I think I'm right. Next. I want to see those comments, fam. What else we got, Tim Black?
The president is set to welcome the National Governors Association, that's a bipartisan group, to the White House. And I know that you are vice chair of that group. And yet President Trump has said that you are not invited because, in his words, you're, quote, not worthy. Why do you think President Trump has singled you out?
Well, I can't speak to the president's heart. I can speak to his actions. And I do want to be clear to the president respectfully. You do not determine my worthiness. God determines my worthiness. The people of Maryland determine my worthiness. They are who I answer to, not him. And I have been very clear with the people of my state that I will work with anyone, but I will bow down to no one. And I think the president has a problem with that. And so I will work with cabinet secretaries and agency heads. I will work with anybody if it means that they're going to advance the issues for the people of Maryland. And especially if it's going to help to address some of the issues that I think are being inspired by the policies of the Trump-Vance administration. But if the point of the meeting that he singled me out and told me I'm disinvited from. But if the point of the meeting is to turn it into name calling or to follow what he did in this most recent tweet, which is full of lies and it's ignorant and it's unhinged, if the point of the meeting is that, then my answer to the president is very clear. Nah, I'm good.
Meaning you won't go?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, I will not go. Absolutely not.
Yeah, man. The reasons why people think they can get some type of play out of not getting along with the president of the United States, the lameness, the lowered expectations, like they think it's a badge of honor to say, hey, I don't need to be, associated with, the government, federal government. I don't need federal government support until something bad happens. So no, I don't, it's not smart. It's not in the best interest of Maryland. This is my state, by the way, guys. I live in Maryland. It's not in the best interest of Maryland that we have a guy who thinks it's bragging rights to be at odds with the president of the United States. In fact, it's bad business. But I got 4 things about you, Westmore, that make you unworthy of us. Because as you pointed on, he goes on to say, it's Maryland citizens that decide if he's worthy, not Donald Trump. And I agree. Well, as one of those Maryland citizens, I will give you 4 reasons why you're unworthy to be invited anywhere except to see the door, to walk outside the door and close it behind yourself. Number 4, well, let's start with number 1. Fiscal mismanagement and tax increases. Yeah, cuz you made our taxes go up. My taxes is off the chain because of your ass. You can't balance the budget. 5.6, you inherited a $5.5 billion surplus. But you turned it into a $3.3 billion deficit. That is almost 8.3. That's $8 million. That's an $8 billion swing, sir. An $8 billion swing from 5.5 surplus to 3.3 deficit, which resulted in a 1.67 billion in new taxes, sir. So what I'm saying basically is you suck on budget, which means for most of us who don't just look at look at your melanin content in your skin, who don't just look and see, oh, he's brown, he's a Black American. To the rest of us who look beyond that, who are not crazy enough to have that one criteria be the reason why they vote for somebody, to the rest of us, you have failed big time. Okay? That's a big problem. In fact, the rest of the shit on the list, I can kind of get around. But this right here, sir, you are busting the pockets of working class Maryland residents. And all of us are feeling the pain because of your ass. You're overspent. Excessive spending. It's been blamed for driving businesses and residents out of the fucking state. So I don't give a shit what's going on with you and Trump. In fact, I don't even understand what exactly that is, except maybe you trying to shore up with your base, right? How good a guy you are by playing this game that all these Democrats play, which is going after Trump, even when your name is not even being whispered. It was pointless. You doing that Jasmine Crockett bullshit. No one's thinking about you. Put your head down and do your goddamn job. But in order for you to get notoriety, to get mentioned on The View by those quacks, you've been going after Donald Trump's neck. Oh yeah, that sanctuary city shit. We'll get to that. Number 2, another reason why you're disinvited or you're unworthy, not for Donald Trump, but for us, is your embellishments in your personal biography. Basically, you're lying on your resume. Yeah, Wes, you're lying on your resume, sir. You've been accused of exaggerating aspects of his background, including falsely claiming a Bronze Star. These things are easy to look up. No one just slides you a Bronze Star, sir. kind of a big ceremony in hand. You don't just get hooked up on the way out. Somebody come by the door. I'll give you a bronze star. Meet me in the drive-thru. I got you. And they just throw a bronze star into your bag as you leave. Nah, man, it's a big deal. Why you thought people weren't going to be able to check that shit is crazy. It's nasty work. You call it an honest mistake. Critics also question his long-standing claim of being a Baltimore native. He grew up in Tacoma Park, and a recent report challenged his story about his grandfather fleeing South Carolina due to the KKK threats. Yeah, the guy got one of these stories that is, basically his father was almost Emmett Till'd. And then it doesn't pan out, and they've been covering it, and I'm not seeing you able to defend yourself against the allegations of fabricating that shit. Instead, what I'm getting is sort of the same thing I was getting out of Brandon Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson of Baltimore. Why you accusing the brother? Why you going at a brother? Why you accusing me? Well, now you got a track record like Joe Biden for lying about shit. And and I get it. There'll be people that say, hey, well, if Joe Biden can lie and still become president. Yeah. Well, we all know we don't get to do everything white people get to do. We know that, right? Okay. So yeah, it's been a lot of holes in his resume that are filled with what appears to be caca bullshit. Number 3 reason why you're unworthy. Public safety policy. Yeah, some people say you're soft on crime. I don't know if I fault you for that particularly, but I do fault you for your lax approach to the immigration situation. Yeah, I do fault you for that. It says you prioritize sanctuary BS over safety. They accuse you, Westmore, of loving crime and downplaying violence against citizens while focusing on gang-related issues. Yeah, like the sister that was thrown off a bridge by the undocumented alien guy. You didn't have much smoke for that. Matter of fact, most of national politics didn't have a conversation for because, well, you can't make undocumented people the poster child of the Democratic Party, the new Black Lives Matter, if you also point out when they destroy, kill, maim, rape unalive black women. But then you want to be the brother that's cooling down and and all this shit. But so these things are in direct conflict with one another. And to me, it's pretty simple. You have an undocumented killer. It should not matter what he is. It should just matter what he did. But instead, you played that down, and that left a bad taste in a lot of mouths of Marylanders. Yeah, your handling of immigration has been criticized with claims of mishandling federal enforcement and allowing foreign violent offenders to harm residents. And that would be it. That would be it. And last but not least, the 4th reason why I say you unworthy is the vetoing of a reparations bill. Not just that you vetoed it, but you had this cornball explanation that, hey, we tired of studies. We don't need no study. And then you went dark. Yeah, you came out like, oh, okay, guys, no, I get it. Y'all want reparations, I get it. But why are we doing a study? We don't need to do no damn studies. We tired of studies. Everybody black was like, yeah. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans was like, yeah, let's be real. And then you went right and said that, well, okay, we'll just be quiet and let it go away. And you offered no counter offer. No, you offered nothing. It's not like you followed it up and said, okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to push a bill that just gets right to the paper. I mean, then why not push the bill that gets right to the paper? You're already in debt. So we'll go into debt to build certain shit in the state that makes it more inhabitable or more gentrified, but not for us, huh? Yeah, that's a bridge too far. That's because one is for white folks and one is for the black foundational folks. Big difference. And then, those are the top four. We got bonuses that make you also unfit. But I think number 4 and number 1 basically did it for me. I kind of made my mind up. And the other thing I noticed that when people were bigging you up, when I saw The View applauding you, I think it was Sunny Hostin, when she was saying how great you were, I already knew you were shit. Yeah, because anytime the establishment likes you, I already know the grassroots, I knew the grassroots was going to be, well, they were going to know what the deal was. Because Sonny would never embrace, The View would never embrace somebody who was actually down for the people. Nah, never. That's not going to happen. So the fact that the establishment was calling you the next Obama, ill. The fact that in some circles they were saying, you got to see this Westmore guy, he's impressive. Yuck. Because that meant you were playing ball. And that's exactly the opposite of what we need. That's the opposite of what I need, what I will endorse or support. So we got issues of transparency, issues of association, political conflicts. I don't know, something about the Washington Commanders and something about, I don't know, man, just random shit. I don't know. I'll just say this, and I mean this with all due respect. See, black Americans have come to the conclusion they caught up. I know I'm one of those people that have been talking about this for quite some time, that black faces in high places do not equal a basis of a vote. And we got to go farther than that, man. We got to start demanding and continue to demand that people be substantive and have a clear vision that matches what we want. And they have our best interests at hand. And if you ain't got our best interests in the economic realm, don't talk to me about police brutality and shit. Now, let's focus on one thing at a time. Let's get our money right. And in fact, you got all our money fucked up. I mean, brother, what conversation is there to have? That's baseline. So taking bows for being a sharp dresser or being an athlete or these other superficial things, at the end of the day, man, if the money ain't right, ain't nothing right. So, yeah. Being the only black governor in the country is a big deal. It really is. But what would be more of a big deal is that being a governor that had the best interests of black Americans, that'd be a bigger deal and a more important deal. And until that's the deal, we don't have a deal. If that makes sense to y'all and y'all watching this and you respect that opinion, share this video, let someone know, because the days of just being able to ride and glide on black pride, nah, man, nah. Because they have abused it. They've abused it and used it as a cheat code to get our support and then do what? Nothing. The fact you like John Legend or J. Cole or some shit like that, but Beyonce means nothing to me, bro. Shit, I'd rather you listen to Gene Simmons and Jelly Roll, but get my money right and have policies that are going to make us economically empowered. I could care less what's in your playlist. I could care less what football team you like. I could care less what kind of gumbo you would make. These things, how you cook greens, these are all goofy things that you Democrats try to endear yourself to black Americans with, and this shit ain't working anymore. Because the internet has opened up even those vote blue sycophants and zombies to a world that has them questioning. They may not be all the way agreeing with me, but they question it. And all it takes is for more and more shit to come out about y'all. and it puts a little ticker in the heads of these people. See, folks, I believe that everything is not done in one fell swoop. I believe in constant work. I believe in a process of sort of like a shore of a beach, the erosion of the waves over time, you know? Of course, I'd rather just come in and be able to say one thing and everybody magically will rock with you, but that would mean somebody could come in and say the opposite and they would magically just go the other way. So I think it's better and it's more realistic that it takes time, like that beach wave that hits the shore, that erodes the bullshit in people's heads. Slowly but surely, piece by piece, bit by bit. And that's what's happening with many Black Americans. And that's why the title of this is Black Americans are no longer falling for it. We're waking up. And that goofy woke shit that the Republicans talk about. No, I mean, we are recognizing and calling bullshit when we see it more and more. And I think it's only going to get more pronounced and more of us doing it as time goes on. So folks, share this video. Hopefully it gets to West more. You seem like a career politician to me, and I don't want somebody who's here for their career. I want somebody who's here for the people. B1 stand up, FBA. All right, next. Let's keep it moving, Johnson. Let's keep it moving.
I am not about to start crying on camera because only educated Black folks understand what I'm saying. And I already know this is going to end up on Twitter again for the 5th time. Hi, motherfuckers. Genuinely, what I was speaking out against was these.
You know, this is the Tether terror. This is a Tether terror that said a bunch of negative shit out of pocket and made terroristic threats at foundational Black Americans. And for no other reason than she wanted some shine, and now she's got it. Now she's defensive. She starts off the video by giving us the finger. That's beautiful. And when you get the negative publicity that you craved, then it's what it is. It's amazing people like to talk tough after they take down their videos. And in fact, people that already recorded it, you kind of backed into having to be a tough person. Let's let her keep going, Tim Black. So let's see what the goofy has to say. Don't steal her shine, Tim. Let her say more.
Hi, motherfuckers. Genuinely, what I was speaking out against was the xenophobia that is in the foundational Black American community. If you identify with that foundational Black title, even though it is a lineage, it is a title. If you identify with it, more often than not, you have heard or used xenophobic rhetoric. I use xenophobic rhetoric out of anger. They just use xenophobic rhetoric because it's a normal day in Queens. So I completely understand where the anger could have come from, especially when they're chopping and screwing bits and pieces to make me look divisive as fuck, when in reality, I really do love my people. I love my people so bad, and I want us to win so bad. But the thing is, there is no us with them. They other themselves. Not all of them, but the ones who prioritize xenophobia in their lexicon of whatever the fuck they identify as. They decide that they are going to use xenophobia as the permission slip to completely dehumanize people. And when people do it back, y'all get out of the pocket. Y'all go out of worlds and start blowing up people's views and screen recording and sharing because you're cowards. You're fucking cowards. And I stand on that shit. Anytime I've said something, I've said it to somebody's face, and I'm gonna say it again. You guys, again, are cowards. What I was saying in that video, in poor taste, was a criticism of the xenophobia. And
oh, God. Hey, man. Hey, man. You really need to get a better spokesperson. Yeah, you don't need to be speaking for you. You need to get somebody else to speak for you. You shut up. You know, you don't need to talk, man. You just need to go sit down. You know, sew your mouth shut. Super glue that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that's falling out your mouth is a contradiction upon contradiction. How you make a follow-up video that's worse and more of a flop than the flopper that you did that made you want to do the follow-up? I mean, you are chef's kiss dumb. You know? Look, man, I don't need to waste time on xenophobia bits. It's the internet. People make jokes. People say shit. You know, I don't know, but I gotta say this. I gotta say this. Who is us? You want us to win. Who the fuck is us? So how can you say you want us to die, then a week later put out a video saying you want us to win? And then just say, well, you just misspoke because you were upset. No, you don't threaten to kill people, then put out a video and start it off by cussing at people, and then play the victim and say that other people act badly. But excuse your own stupid shit. This is crazy. You don't need an internet account. You don't. You can't handle one. You know what you need? You need several seats, a whole stadium full of seats, and a gag order on yourself. You need a restraining order from your own mic. Yeah, your microphone needs to take out a restraining order against you. Stop abusing your microphone. Anybody in the vicinity of your voice needs to sue you for hazardous waste, toxicity, and an overuse of the word rhetoric. The bottom line is this, right? Foundational Black Americans are tired of people that are here through the grace of foundational Black Americans and enjoying the fruits of this country based on the blood, sweat, and tears of us. And I still can't, in my wildest imagination, can't fathom going to another country, being a guest in that country, and shitting on the people that are in that country. When all you got to do is returneth to your homeland. Sierra Leone, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that where you're from? Why not just go back to Sierra Leone? Case closed, face closed. Just preposterous. It really is, fam. Look, man, and I'll just say, of course, there are negative things said on the internet from all people, man. All people. But the only people you guys fix your mouth to come at is us. And don't give us the bullshit that foundational Black Americans have some fetish for going after just foreigners. Dog, we've been going after white Americans who are bigots for the longest. I mean, that's what we've been doing. And what you don't get, the fact that foundational Black Americans is a lineage, it is about the historical background of those people, of a people, then you can't really separate it by saying, you know, it's people that have a label. Yeah, you have a label. Sierra Leone is your label, right? Now, I don't belong to a group, but I am in a group called Black Americans. And I like the final point of foundational Black Americans, because the fact that, you know, Obama gets labeled as a Black American when he's not really. His dad is African, but since he looks brown, they go Black American. So it got played. It got used. But everybody that comes here, I mean, technically, Elon Musk is Black American. Technically, your ass is Black American. Though, when you were in Sierra Leone, you never called yourself Black. But now you're Black American. You heard us in the census. You heard us when we're counting how we're doing, how we're performing, in all the researches and all of the polling and all of the data that is crunched. Your folks who come over to this country, the immigrants, get counted as Black American even though you're not. And you know it because the first thing out of your mouth, if you being honest, whenever you get pissed off and someone's criticizing you in any way, whether they be the dominant society or other, first thing out of your mouth is, no Black. You know Black. I'm sure it is. Shit, I remember when traveling, doing comedy and going to a city or going to a state. I think it was Utah. Actually went to Utah. And when I got into the cab with what I thought was a brother, I said, oh, man, it's good to see you, brother, because I knew it was going to be very rarely I was going to see any black people out here, man. This is Utah. He was like, I'm not black. I'm here on studies. I'm Nigerian. He quickly corrected my ass. And that was in a good, positive way. But he wanted me to definitively know he was not Black American. So this fact that we're going, okay, cool, you got it. You win. You're right, you're not black. Now I see a surge of people getting pissed off. It's like when you guys want to kick us away from you, when you want to distance yourself from us, everything's fine with you. But when we distance ourselves from you, then we're called divisive. And that's why I have an issue with people like Deontay Kyle, Hotep Judas, I think his name is. Any of these people that are coming at foundational Black Americans, it's not to defend any antics or any over-the-topness of people in comment sections or what have you. It's not to defend it. The reason I got a problem with you is that I know for a fact that when we're being when those in the African diaspora are being negative towards us and distancing themselves from Black Americans, it was fine. But when Black Americans or foundational Black Americans say, hey, stay over there, we're good. We're distancing ourselves from you. Now all of a sudden we are the bad guys. All of a sudden we are the hateful ones. And I don't know if people realize it or not, but I'm not in their country, they're in mine. Yeah, lady, you're not in. I'm not in your country, you're in my country. Telling me how I need to conduct myself. No, it's the other way. The door swings both ways, sister. But since my people were born here, we've been here for damn near 10 generations. Some of us have been here further than that. I don't think we have to listen to the dictations or the rantings of a lunatic, murderous lunatic, a Tether terror with a trifling terroristic threat falling out of her mouth every other sentence as being the barometer of what we need to consider as being ethical, moral, or humanistic. So, in layman terms, kick rocks or bushmeat or whatever the hell else you want to kick. But we ain't here for it. And yes, that was a xenophobic slur or dig. And I stand by it. For you, anyway. Why come you all can't be like Godfrey? Godfrey needs to hold a class. Why come all, because Godfrey, he gets it. I mean, he likes Don Lemon way too much, but other than that, he says the right things when he's trying to kiss ass. Next. The Amanda, what's her name? Amanda what? Is it Steers or Spears? What's the loud one? I forget her name. Tether. That's for you, babe. Tether. All right, Amanda Seals. That's it, Amanda Seals. All right, where we at? All right, we keep going, Johnsons. Keep going. Good times. They shouldn't get us going. She talked for a long time.
And sad about the way.
She's still
and then you go
racist. Could you just explain that further? Because 76% line.
Next up with Tim Black.
You just stated that the SAVE Act is an attack on civil rights and is racist. Could you just explain that further? Because 76% of Black Americans support the SAVE Act, according to CNN.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, we find it racist because At the end of the day, it's targeting black communities with a cost burden. We've been through this historically, right? Where we've been prohibited from voting because we didn't know how many bubbles were in a soap bar. And so this is just a new iteration of that, and we're very focused on defeating it.
But if 76% of black
That's-
Americans support
that-
voter ID,
I don't believe that's 76%.
CNN reported it.
Well, that's
Check out the
possible.
polls.
That's possible.
Okay.
But I do not agree with it.
Next up.
Yeah, she doesn't agree with numbers or facts or polls or the things that other black Americans want. I get it. I mean, does anybody really take these people seriously, fam? I mean, it's so obvious what they're doing is they're making a play in order to get some cheap votes from people that feel encumbered like they gotta vote for them because the Republicans want them deported, so I guess if you want to stay here, you gotta pick a Democrat. End of story. That's all there is. They're basically buying votes. Why do you think they want everybody outside fighting ICE? They buy votes. That's what it is. It's not going to be enough, though. But this whole thing, it's kind of, I think it's insulting. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like a big middle finger to black Americans when you're like we can't afford an ID. Like, I mean, look, here's the thing. If you say that there are some senior citizens who don't have IDs, well, let's start a program. I can't see how the Republicans could fight a program that made something for senior citizens to be able to get an ID, some streamlined process for our senior citizens. Or maybe for everybody under a certain income bracket. There has to be solutions to this. But the solutions to this cannot be, nobody needs an ID. Nobody has to prove who they are. Nobody has to do shit. Now, that's crazy. Yeah. And it's just so transparently bogus that no one's really going for it, fam. That's it. And please, for the love of God, stop comparing everything to Jim Crow. Man, I need an ID as a black man to go anywhere. And I wouldn't even want to go for a walk. I wouldn't even want to walk my doggy without an ID. You know how many descriptions I could fit being black, walking around? I gotta have that ID on me, man. It's the only thing that separates me from possibly ending up in the jail cell, at least to the next day, and being, I'm sorry, sir, my apologies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's that real out here in the field. Don't listen to these Democrats, these political operatives, fam. Do not listen to them, fam. Black men and women, take your ID with you. You should have an ID. If you don't have an ID, get an ID. All right? Get an ID. Make that a priority. Not to vote, to walk the earth. Okay? How about that? How about it's a responsibility that we should all be able to achieve and be able to check that box because it's too important not to have it. Okay? And so, people are going through right now, they're getting shaken down by the ICE agents, Department of Homeland Security, or whatever. Have your ID. Have your ID. You don't have your ID, for the record, cops have been able to detain you unless they can verify your identity forever. This notion that it's only undocumented people that get held up or get taken in or whatever because they're questioning their citizenship. Family, they question our freedom. They question if we have warrants. This shit happens all the time. It's just amazing how all of a sudden now people are so upset about it. Every time a cop jumps behind my car when I was, driving, going, whatever, they were running my tags, seeing who it came back to, seeing if the car was stolen, then running me, see if the person who's driving it had any warrants. This is a common practice. It's only a problem now because the preferred voter demographic of the Democratic Party is now under scrutiny. And it kind of throws the whole monkey wrench in the whole Joe Biden, open up the floodgates and allow everybody to come in if they aren't going to be able to vote and if they're not going to be in the country. So to me, that's what this is all about. Yeah, most Americans agree. The overwhelming majority of America agrees that you should have to identify yourself. You should be, in order to cast a vote, And I just go a step further and say, you need it for life. You need one regardless. And if the Democrats really want to make this an issue, like I stated, let's come up with a program. Yeah, get in there and work on legislation, right? Instead of working on new ways to call Trump an asshole, instead of working on new ways to curse at Trump and try to raise your profile, how about come up with new ways for people who are less advantaged to be able to get IDs and be able to prove their identity so that this is a non-issue. Yeah. Win-win. You know how rare it is to have Americans on the same page? I mean, we're at like 80% across the board, Johnson. And Democrats are now, they're the outlier going, we don't care about numbers. We don't care if everyone agrees. Nah. That tells you everything you need to know about how sincere they are. Identification is a requirement. You can't even go, you can't even go to a club without an ID. You know, there's so much shit you can't do without an ID. Last time, I haven't been to a club in a long time, but last time I remember, you had to present ID to get into a nightclub. You had to have ID to go into a swimming pool. You had to have ID to cash a check. You got to have ID. It's all types of shit you need IDs for. Identity. Can't buy a beer. And you want to pick the president? And then you want to say that's the same thing as having to guess the number of marbles in a jar? Just taking the pain of our history and our legacy in this country and using it to help your fucking party, man. It's disgusting. All right. Let's keep it moving, family. Let's keep it moving. Not everybody's that stupid. We know it's the reason why. And the reason doesn't help us.
With Tim Black.
Oh, fuck my life. Why? It's my last one. Oh, fart nigger. What the fuck is that I just said? Hey, Nick, you gotta, can you kill that?
No, I got 35 minutes. 99.9.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to get to him yet. So, look, I saw this video and I said, we got to comment on it. We got to get Kathy, whatever her name is. All right, so she's the host of a show on HGTV called Rehab Addict. Rehab Addict. She's addicted to rehabbing. And that's what she's doing here when she used the racial slur, the N-word, okay? And they removed her show from all the platforms, including streaming services like HBO Max and Discovery, after a leaked clip surfaced showing the host, Nicole Curtis, using the N-word during filming. Now, this happened brand new. This happened this month. So I'm like, okay, this is why, but I wanted to know, what is the deal with this? Well, folks, there's a lot because everyone's reporting on it, but I'm not seeing much depth. She got fired. But this is not just virtue signaling or she used a bad word, so we want to take away her career. This woman was doubling down on bullshit. Yeah, I know when the right-wing people report on it, the conservative media, they're going to report it like she's a victim of an overzealous, super woke DEI, scam or some shit. And they're going to leave out that she's an asshole. Listen, man. HGTV issued a statement saying they were recently made aware of the offensive racial comment made during the film. They emphasized language like this is hurtful and disappointing to viewers, partners, and employees. They left off advertisers. Nobody wants to be associated with it. I know Nick Fuentes and Benny Johnson and these other, I know a lot of people on the right think it's really edgy. Myron Gaines, fresh and unfit, stinky and unfit. But most people with common sense don't want to be labeled as racist. Neither do networks. I know that's crazy, right? It doesn't align with HGTV's values of respect and inclusion. As a result, they canceled the show permanently and removed the entire series from all platforms. Here's the thing. Now, Curtis did apologize quickly on social media via Instagram posts reported in outlets like Variety and People. She said the word was wrong and not part of her vocabulary. Obviously, it's a part of your vocabulary, because if it's not a part of your vocabulary, it wouldn't have came to mind. Yeah. You can't, in a moment of anger or frustration, if you never use the word doesn't come to mind. It doesn't spontaneously pop into your memory bank. Okay? You had to download the file to leak the file. All right? It doesn't invade your mental capacitors just spontaneously, fam. So that's bullshit right there. She expressed remorse and regret, noting she felt it at the moment, come out claiming it was accidental. In time to frustration, phrases are sometimes thrown together. See, this is bullshit. Because, fam, you used this word before. It had to be a word that is common for you. In fact, I think off camera you use it often because it came at a negative point. It came at a point where you were exasperated. You know what I'm saying? And that's when words come out without the filter. But it also means that it was previously used. And that's sort of tied into my first point. But she says it's claiming it was accidental. Until memories are thrown together. I don't know. It just sounds like bullshit. How about, hey, I was wrong. I didn't mean to say it, obviously. And I've been listening to so much 90s Ice Cube and DMX, and I've been really going down a rabbit hole of all of my favorite musicians, and that, kind of like that was and I kind of slipped up. I didn't mean anything. I love black people. I mean, something like, I don't know. That wouldn't have worked either. Yeah, it's really nowhere to go with this, but this ain't it. This ain't it. She claimed the footage was stolen and then manipulated. Oh, she pulled a Joy Reid, Johnson. Remember when Joy Reid got caught up in her blog calling the former governor of Florida sweet and gay and all this stuff, and was going at him about being, homosexual and all this stuff. And then when she got called out about it, she started crying and shit. And then she eventually said some shit like, well, I think people hacked me. I think someone hacked my website and put that into my website. Even though her website had been down for a number of years, the only way to pull it up was go to the Wayback Machine and look at it. Screenshots. So basically, she wasn't smart enough to know. She was saying that someone hacked this website that's maintained by a third party. Anyway, this person, Nicole Curtis, tried to use the Joy Reid excuse. She said it was stolen and manipulated, edited, and sold to a tabloid to coincide with the show's return and create chaos of hate. Yeah, so the hate that was created was not by her using the N-word, but the hate that was created by somebody who pretended that she used it. And they did this all to try to spew hate. So use a hateful slur, and then you blame other people for exposing the hate, instead of just saying, hey, man, I really screwed up. And here it goes. She later doubles down in interviews, insisting it wasn't representative and prioritizing family over career fallout. Yeah, so later she just said, I give up. I'm not winning the argument here. I got a great family. Who cares? screw yourselves. And it wasn't me. Stop pulling the shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But we could all see it was you. And whether it was leaked or if it was purposely put out, or maybe HGTV just wanted you out of your contract. Maybe you're such an asshole. They wanted to get rid of you, and the way to get rid of you was to leak their own footage in order to get you out the door. That's possible. I'm not going to hold you. I have no idea how this came to light. I don't care. When a current is caught being racist, I celebrate. Yeah. That's right. I don't feel bad about you losing your job. I don't. And you got a lot more time to spend with that wonderful family of yours. Good day. Let me know what y'all think about Nicole Curtis and her losing her show. What a dum-dum. She didn't know there were cameras there? She knew. Next. Oh, you already saw what's next, right? Man, I tell you, Johnson. Man, we are cooking. Before we get to the last show, this is why I remind you. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Stop playing with me, man. What y'all doing? Become a member of the show. You know why? Because I put out great content. And I will continue to put out great content. And I got some special behind-the-scenes content that I want to put out. You know, I'm right now in this fever push, man, to put out as much content as possible. But I'm going to hold back certain things. Just for VIPs. How about uncut? Yeah, how about uncut? Cause I don't think the cursing is all that good for the general stuff, for the algorithm. But if I'm making content that's just for my VIPs, it don't even need to have ads in it. It's just for you guys, right? Yeah. Now we get to it. Join the Tim Black Wolfpack by going to patreon.com, Tim Steak Live. Become a VIP member. That means you're a very important person. You keep this show going. Believe that shit. All right? Do that today. Become a member. And, yeah. Remember, we do live streams Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And, yeah, we will continue to go. I think this is my last story of the night. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, guys. Let's get them.
Why? It's our last one. Oh, fart nigger. What the fuck is that I just said? Nick, you gotta, can you kill that?
99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a black person the N-word. But we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters yelling at a black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on black usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore. The white man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his blackness per se. He's attacking his bootlicking choice to be in ICE while being a black man. Being black in ICE makes you a house N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh look, there's a modern house N-word. I think this usage is valid and acceptable if it had just been the N-word. That would be problematic. But when he adds the house N-word, he's being historically realistic. So yes, it is okay to call black ICE agents house N-words. They are.
I think I got one more thing here, do I? That might be it. Oh, we'll see. Well, let's get to Torre here. First things first, family. I find it difficult to get through this video just by the way you talk. No bass at all, huh? How can a man who resembles a Muppet claim to speak for Black America as if you're an authority figure in determining who can say what and who can use the word, the most degrading word in the language, in the existence of language, to define and dehumanize people, in this case, Black Americans or foundational Black Americans? How can you be the arbiter of what is acceptable? And then you deem it is acceptable? Who the hell gave you the authority? You don't have enough bass in your voice to tell Black people anything, to speak for us on any point. I would like, first of all, I would. It's like you're singing to me. You're a cornball and a goofy. But let's not go super personal yet. Let's examine what you're saying. ICE agents on KKK, dumbass. Getting deported is not getting lynched. You know, you do a big disservice to Black Americans who were lynched by Klan members. Being put out of a place you never came in the right door of isn't lynching. It isn't being dismembered. It isn't having your body parts eaten or pieces of you cut off and sold and put on the mantle cases, the mantle placements of white racists across the country, postcards sold with pictures of us dangling off of bridges or burnt in effigy. Now, I don't think those things are equivalent, but only a goofball, a slimy goofball like this guy, Torre, would make the comparison and then justifying that comparison. He talks about the white on black usage of this word. No, I don't think in no context at all. As a Black man, as a foundational Black man, as a Black man with a Black wife, with Black kids who lives in a Black house, wears a Black shirt and a Black hat and a Black bomber jacket, wearing Black boots. I don't agree. And with my authority, the authority vested in me, nor do I give the permission of said Caucasians to utter the word N-word at Black Americans. I don't give a fuck what kind of job they do. Okay? I don't care where they pick up a paycheck. I don't give you that authority. I don't give anybody white that authority. And since all of us are able to make that decision, I like to stand up for those who disagree with you. And then when you bring in this elitist bullshit, which is really the core of who Torre is. He said this person is a barely paid mule. Unlike you, who's a well-paid mule of AIPAC, the ADL, and all other institutions that lean that way. And not to mention the Democratic Party. You are shoeshine boy for the Democrats. A goofy shoeshine boy who needed to stick to talking about hip-hop and making horrible takes about music, who cut your teeth on that a long time ago, and somehow based on the amount of rectum kissing you're willing to do and the amount of rim jobs you give the establishment, you've been allowed to stay around and be afloat for an additional decade, way past your expiration date, Torre. Way past it. And I don't even like that ICE agent. I thought he was kind of, but that's but it's the principle. You set a bad precedent, right? And we all know that most ICE agents are Hispanic anyway. But that doesn't fit the narrative, does it, Torre? He said he wasn't attacking his blackness, it was attacking his job. Yeah, but it's his job while being black. Anytime someone uses the N-word against a black person, they're attacking blackness, dummy. That's the whole point of it. Man, why do these people get to pretend? Why do black Americans have to pretend that people like Torre is smart? If he's not attacking his blackness, why is he using the N-word? The N-word is applicable and has been the way that it has been applied throughout the history and throughout the usage of the N-word. From its invention, its inception, till today. It's been used as a bludgeon against black Americans. And we got Torre, this lap dancer at the Democratic Party, the happy ending giver of all things Democratic Party related talking point, infested. This guy sits up and said, no, it's not really about his blackness, it's about his job. No, fuck you. It's about his blackness. And it's also come to light, this person who said it may have been black, which still opens up a whole nother can of worms, because now he's a black man around a bunch of white folks calling another black man the hard R. Which further stipulates one of the reasons why we need not be out in the street on this bullshit. Because these are the type of morons we're around. So we got a black man showing his ass, showing off for the bigoted whites that he associates with. And at the end of it, Torre just gives him credit and defines the usage, and he said it's allowed. I mean, he gives his verdict. I mean, you know, I totally disagree with the use of allowing anybody, particularly white Americans, to use the word, the hard R against black Americans. Yeah, I totally disagree. But of course, I'm overruled because the establishment have picked Torre to be a spokesperson for black people, even though he's not black at all, are you, Torre? Like some concoction mix of something else. And see, that's part of the problem. Because a black person, a true black man, would have a problem with a white guy talking like that to a black man. But since you're not a true black man, you're not fully a black American, a foundational black American, it's a lot of wiggle room in there for you. Yeah, you can side with your Democratic side of things. And see, that's part of it. See, I never was one of those people that saw this. I never wanted to be like that. Like, you know, like ideology is a big deal because in Ancestry Matters, because it would be harder for you to be a sellout if you were sold in, but you're not sold in. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point many people make. Now, I agree. It should not be the predominating factor. Like, we should not judge you based on your lineage, but damn it, you're kind of making the point that many FBAs make, which is, how could you ride for us? You got no skin in the game. You make the argument yourself with this shit come out of your mouth. In fact, others of mixed backgrounds should feel like you're an embarrassment to them by this take that you just gave. And in a world where we control the media, you'd be out on your ass right now, Torre. But you get to exist and operate. It may probably be rewarded by white supremacists, the same people you say this ICE agent was helping. Who's employing you, Torre? Who's put money in your pocket, Torre, if not white supremacists? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anyway, okay, I think that's all we got. This Ernie and Bert looking motherfucker doesn't have the authority to give anybody a pass on using the N-word, not in my presence. And if that cornball was to use the N-word in my presence against this ICE agent or against this store clerk or against this car salesman or against this public school teacher, he would have been on the verge of an ass whooping. Because it's not the job, it's the skin tone. It's the blackness they hate. There were other agents there present, Torre. And if this was all about the job, the employment, the agency, then he would have been calling all those people there the N-word, wouldn't he? Yeah. Stop telling me that Torre is smart. Stop telling me that people that rock with him are smart. It's like one of the worst takes. This is gonna be a contender for one of the worst takes, Torre. Torre's take will be a contender for one of the worst takes of 2026. It's gonna make the top 10, I'm pretty sure. All right, guys, let me know what y'all think about this take, man. No one, you don't have the authority to give a person a pass on using the N-word. And the fact that the audacity of this asshole to think he does have that authority, that's reckless as hell, man. Just think of the level of arrogance, the level of sign-offs that he must have from either Jewish folks or white Democratic elites or something. Just think of the level of carte blanche this motherfucker has with somebody, because I mean, that takes balls. And Torre doesn't appear to be someone who has them. He talks as if his balls haven't even dropped. So it's like, who paid you? You know, who was... I don't know, man. Probably in the Epstein files or some shit. I don't know. I think we're done, but let's check, guys.
It's Black History Month. I need all the white people to sit in the back. Can I get a hell yeah?
Man, you're a disgrace to my race, man.
Really, dude?
Yeah. Because you got these white people scared now, right?
You know what? They had us scared too. You ashamed. You should be ashamed. Dude, I'm not trying to hear it, dude. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. You need a bump.
You're an Uncle Tom sellout.
Brother, you need a bump. With those shoes, I'll be shutting the fuck up.
They always think black people criminals anyway. This dumbass sitting there screaming and yelling and everything. He should be in jail.
Yup. You sound racist.
All right, man. All right, can we do this? This is Jesus Christ. Both of these motherfuckers need to shut up. But nah, man. Hey, look, fam. What kind of a cornball is this, man? Somebody is raising their voice being an asshole in the train for whatever reason. I don't know why he's raising his voice. But your response should not be you making me look bad as a black man. Fuck that. Do you think white people do that shit? Do you think white people walk around? You think white people walk around looking at what other white people do and going, oh no, don't make me look bad because we're both white? Nah, they just own that motherfucker. Keep it moving. Yeah, I learned this a long time ago traveling on public transportation. You cannot self-identify with lunatics. Man, there's so many people with mental issues in this country. The way that America is medicated, like 1 out of 4 Americans are on some type of SSI, sensory medication, right? Like, Dog, we got too much of a mental health crisis in the country for you to be feeling like anybody speaks for you except you. I mean, it's crazy. So now you're holding yourself to a crazy standard and you sound like an ass kisser. You know, anybody white that saw that guy acting an ass for whatever reason and saw you and grouped you with him is a racist. Because there's nothing connecting you at all. You are there holding your flowers to your husband's, to bring home to your husband. And that's it. You're a very upstanding, obviously gay man who's deeply in love with his white husband, and you can't wait to get home and tend to him. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I applaud you, you know, for minding his stepchildren or whatever you're going to do. But that does not mean that guy's right. That guy's wrong. He looks scary. He looks like he listens to the wrong type of music. He looks like he's had a bad day. Allow him to have a bad day. You know, allow him to have a bad day. But you don't have to, you neither have to own or disown him. I would have just shook my head and moved it, kept it moving. You know? But I also noticed that with all that talking you did, you didn't walk over there, did you? See, we learned something. We learned to mind our mother. You didn't learn to be quiet, but you did learn to stay out of harm's way. You kept your distance. You said it, but you said that shit walking, and you went and walked your ass onto the train. And I applaud you on that because we don't need somebody else to get set on fire in the subway. Slows down services. People got places to be. But yeah. So one bad action on behalf of one person should not be translated onto you. And any feeling of that you need to speak for, stand up, defend, that you're guilty by association, and I had to let that shit go a long time ago, man. I worked in Washington, D.C. There was a St. Elizabeth 10 minutes away from the job site, downtown in 15 minutes or so. Basically, Reagan opened the doors of St. Elizabeth back in the 80s and let people who had serious mental issues just roam free. Just didn't want to pay for them anymore. So D.C. became overridden with people like this man. And this guy, he had on his clothes and everything. He wasn't even spitting or nothing. I mean, this guy's well-behaved other than being loud. It's that type of activity. It's that type of swashbuckling, magical Negro activity. They got Nelly, Jordan. Damn, I forget his name. That's bad, man. Daniel Penny used that type of energy from sellouts like you to kill that man on the train. Gordon Neely. Neely, I know his last name, Neely. Yeah, it's probably going on the word of a magnificent, driving Miss Daisy, Morgan Freeman character like yourself. Oh, well, I want to help. Oh, don't do this in front of these good white people. And you know what white people would do if there was a white guy being loud and belligerent? Nothing. You know what they would say about their race being disrespected? And now people, you is why black people think we crazy. You is why. No, they wouldn't do that. You know what? Latinos wouldn't do it either. They go, cayete, ay, crazy. Do it. And they just keep it moving. Asians would mind their business. Just go about business, but not you. No, not you, puppy dog. Bag of Vance, got a bag of Vance. Got to jump in there and earn your biscuits. Yeah, we need to retire. We need to retire that. We need to retire that with the older blacks. I got to admit, man, with the older blacks, we got to retire this notion that you got to save the day. Just save your breath and go ahead and hit them hush puppies into the train and sit down. Let me know what y'all think about this segment, fam. I stand on it, though. I think there's no winners, only losers in this situation. Wolfpack. Let's go to comment section, fam. Wait, what a Friday, Johnson. I'm having fun putting that one out. That's going to be fun, man. Yeah, it's Tim Black Wolfpack, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Who's up in the building? Jordan Neely, that's it. Jordan Neely, there it is. That's how it happened, big hair. People co-signing dumb shit. Yeah, they would be minding their business. There you go. They'd be quiet as hell. Like, that's what white people do when people act crazy. And they should. They should do that. Did you see? Did you see him over there? They'd be talking amongst themselves. They would not be giving him any attention. God, Jesus, did you see him? He's unhinged. I know, it's crazy. Gosh. And you bet he smells awful. Awful. Gosh. And they would go about their time, about their day, mind their damn business. But not us. What can I do for us? Can I help, boss? It's got to be something I can do. I want to earn my keep. You got any honey packets to put on the biscuits I'm about to earn? I mean, for what? For what? You need to go to jail scaring these good white people. Well, how you know they good, Johnson? Some of them probably PDF files, beat their kids, haven't seen their kids in years. Why you think they're good people? Just because they're white, they're good people? You don't know that. You're up here scaring these good white people. See, you gotta one of those, you think, the way you see yourself is effed up, man. You have a condition. You know, you pedestalize people for nothing based on race. And if you pedestalize white people, that you have no reason to believe people deserve pedestals other than their skin tone. That means that you probably degrade black people. Because that's the opposite of the spectrum. Obviously. You couldn't look at it like, maybe this guy's having a bad day. Maybe his mom died. Maybe he just lost his job. Maybe he's drunk. I don't know. Maybe he's off his medication. There's a whole host of reasons why this guy could be acting out of character. You didn't consider, you gave him no grace whatsoever. But you give all your grace to a bunch of people you don't even know either. So everybody's shit or no one's shit. And that's why I like certain, just there's certain points of view I like a George Carlin, the old Bill Burr. It's kind of changing now. He got to that extra money, got to that higher money, kind of switch it up. You know what I'm saying? But the outlook is, I just like it better if everybody's shit. Bring me back Patrice O'Neal. Everybody's bad or everybody's good. But that makes sense, guys. Winnie the Pooh slaving for that, slaving for that honey. Yeah, fair, that's all I'm saying. Why? You guys should watch Alex Cross with Aldous Hodge. I have watched that. Yeah, I saw that, brother. Yeah. It's based in D.C. too, fam. You know I seen that joint. Yeah. PWX is up in the building. Thank you, PW. There you go. Don't judge others by your yardstick. Right. Anybody. Look, man, I'm neither for or against anybody based on how they look. That's just me, man. I've been burnt and I've been surprised. And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. There's nothing worse than being surprised when it's a brother or a sister. Because then you feel shame, like, damn, I misjudged this brother or this sister. So I had to learn that the hard way, too. Because we've all had bad experiences on all sides of the coin, right? And be human about it. That's the truth. But I had to learn the hard way, man, to never put in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Never put too much in them honey packets. Never put the, you know what I'm saying? I don't put my thumb on the scale either way for anybody. You know, anybody can get it. That's all we getting to, fam. Anybody can get it, fam. Anybody can get praised and anybody can get called out. And that I like it that way better. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrice O'Neal, man. That brother was hilarious. Y'all good? Damn, man, thank y'all for joining us on a Friday night, man. I know you got other things you could have been doing. Hope that you shared this with somebody. I appreciate you. Let's do this again on Monday. We'll be back with more Tim Black Show. As always, stay courageous, stay bold, but most of all, stay dangerous. All right, man. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe. Tomorrow's supposed to be 55 degrees tomorrow. So we might get some of this snow to melt here in Maryland. I'm looking forward to going outside and getting some sun on my on my face. Is Richard Pryor would say. Get some sun on your face. All right, guys. Everybody's got reasons for doing what they do. Here goes some of mine. I'm sure you have yours. Much love to you. And your families. And your families.